If we roll forward to today, look at this, $189 billion market cap in 7 years by a little company called Google. I was using Google when it wasn't even popular. And people were going, I said, go to Google, and they said, what's that? Is that a disease or something? Yeah, go Google it. Now it's become a what? Yeah, it's like it's a standard. What do you say when you go tell somebody go search something now? Google it. What do you do when you tell somebody to ship something? Overnight. FedEx it. Now, you might not use FedEx, right? You might use Airborne or UPS and stuff, but you say FedEx it. Now you say Google it. Oh my gosh. Who here would like to have branding like that? Yeah, exactly. What if I could show you a couple things around that today that would actually give you that level of possibility? Would anybody be interested? Yes. All right, good. Well, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun. I think I'm in the right place. Folks, I'm a small business specialist. I don't work with big corporations. I like using them as examples because you actually can see it in something you're familiar with. But I work with small businesses and I like making them big. Online's a necessity in today's world. Online is where things are going. However, you still must integrate the two together. That is a necessity in order to be successful today. Why? Because we're dealing with human beings who still like to touch, feel, taste. We're creatures. We're feeling creatures, and we like to smell. We like to actually know you're real. But it's about transformation. And that's what Genimation Group is really about. It's about taking businesses and transforming their marketing, living in that context of the area of marketing and transforming that for businesses in a way that makes a huge impact in anything that they do. I have no idea what I just said, but it sure sounded good. So, why do we resist change? Who here would agree that change is required for transformation in your business? Absolutely. Yet change is very interesting because we resist it very often this is one reason, loss of control. We don't like to change because it's something new and we don't feel like we have control over it. There's another one that says, oh my God, what are other people going to say? Or this is one of the best. Nobody in my industry does this. There's not other people that do this, so why should I do this? Everybody's looking for agreement. And really, the truth be known in marketing is the ones in my clients and things, if you want to be successful, it's the ones that don't agree with you. When you don't agree with the industry and you go this direction, I can assure you, if you have a sound reason for it, and I'm going to show you some of those things, you will win, and you'll win big. I've been to more marketing seminars than I care to count for because I like to get trained too. And you know what's interesting is they talk about really cool stuff. And they've got amazing things to talk about. And they've got really great things. And my question is that is wonderful. I love that idea. How do you get there? What's underneath this stuff? What's underneath the psychology? What's underneath all of that? And that's why I was saying what I'm going to be talking about is I've uncovered, I think, what I believe is probably the DNA of marketing relative to the way that it actually works from a design side, from the behavior of people, which is everything. That's what causes marketing to happen. Now, what happens, what do most people do when they come out and try and sell something? What do they focus on? The product. Nobody cares about your product. We can buy it anywhere. No, you can't. Mine's different. Oh, really? Let's talk about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about the distinctions of what makes you different and what makes you unique and what makes you special. Because if you don't get down to that, you can't show up in the marketplace different and unique. Customer service is probably the most potent and powerful way you can capture people. And people don't even really know this. It's kind of like call a business sometime and ask them what they do. Or ask them for some service. Just ask them. Just do it. Go through the yellow pages. Grab the yellow pages and call any business and ask them for service. You'd be surprised at the answers we're getting. It's getting really pathetic. It's getting really scary. So you have to ask yourself, how are you showing up? Quality of personnel. We don't take the time to train our people anymore. It's kind of like, oh yeah, you're hired, great, here's the job, go do it. It's baptism by fire. And in a small business, we go, well, we don't really have the time. Yes, you do. because you have the time to go rehire another person. You got the time for them to quit. You got the time for them to destroy half your client base while they're sitting there on the phone, you know, upsetting everybody and pissing them all off. You got the time for all this, but you don't have the time to train them? I'm sorry, I don't believe that. And the same thing with the telephone. The most sophisticated piece of electronic equipment we own is probably the least understood and probably the least trained on, because we all think that we know how to use a telephone. And so what do? We hire somebody. I had a client one time that we hired that was down in Colorado Springs, and he had about $1 million business, and he's paying the front desk person like $5.20 an hour or something. So I said, oh, I get it. I said, you're betting a $1 million business on a $12,000 person. I said, here you spend all this money to bring all this business in and everything like this, and it all comes down to what? A phone call. That's what it comes down to. You're spending money on advertising, on blogging, on online, on everything like this, and whatever else, all for the phone to ring. Now, whether they come in through the phone line or they come in through your email or whatever it is, if it's not experiential and it's not delightful, what's going to happen? They're gone, because there's a breakdown in that. And the same thing, people go, oh, God, the telephone, Bob, give me a break. That's like old. Well, it might be old, but it's still a tool we use, and it's still a reality in business. So what is it that your customers or prospects find as unique, remarkable, memorable, fun, distinctive, exciting, over-the-top, creative, mind-bending, memorable, risky, outrageous about your current message and the method and how you deliver it? And if it doesn't look like this, you've got some work to do. And it's something that is really important. And here, let me give you an example. Magic button. This is a little button over here, little smiley face. And this was a client of ours, and it was a little dry cleaning store, actually a little chain. And what they did was, we found out they replaced buttons on shirts, right? Like, you know, a lot of dry cleaners you go to, if there's a missing button, they replace it for you. It's pretty nice, isn't it? It's nice. Well, we realized that we need to leverage, because that's one of those hidden assets. And this is how we leveraged it. This was the copy that was inside the button. This is, hi, I'm your magic button. You've not met me before because I'm brand new to your shirt. You see, the old one was missing, and we thought you'd look rather strange missing this important feature of your shirt. So they put me in his place. I hope you like me as well, as I promise I'll do a better job than your old one. Oh, by the way, did you know we replace over 25,000 buttons a year, just like me, every year, as a way of saying thank you for your business and that we think you're very special. Maryville Dry Cleaner. 40% increase in their business. 40. Over this little button. And not only did this little button a 40% increase, it became viral. Everybody wanted this little smiley face guy, you know, and then they all talked about it. Everybody was talking about this little yellow button. By the way, did you know that dry cleaner replaces buttons? And you know what all the other dry cleaners are saying? Well, we do that too. Well, we do that too. Well, we do that too. Guess what? Nobody knows. Because you haven't filled the gap in order to communicate what that is. That's closing the gap. This is closing the gap. Your competition says a lot of things about you. You know, you say a lot of things about them. How can you not have to say anything and you own the market niche?